Alright, we're going to talk about Friday the 13th, the 2009 remake. Let's go. Alright, so before we talk about the Friday the 13th, 2009 remake, I just want to have a quick little discussion, Is it ch-ch-ch, ha-ha-ha, or is it k-k-k, ma-ma-ma? You know what I'm saying? I don't feel like doing the full thing again. I'm sure you guys are already like, why were your lips in the camera? I don't know. This is improvised. So, yeah, leave a comment down below. Which one is it, I'll make a whole other video about this. Let's talk about the movie now. Alright, so Friday the 13th, the 2009 remake. This movie is so highly underrated. I see online from the horror fans, slasher fans, I wanted to say real slasher fans, but I know it's subjective, right? But I see there is a fan base for the 2009 remake. But when you look at the reviews, when you look at some people's rankings, and if you look at Letterboxd rating system, like Letterboxd has it insanely low. It's like a 2.4 or 2.5, and there's like other horror movies, not just slasher movies, but just horror movies in general that have, 3.0 to 4.0, 3.5, that are nowhere as close as the Friday the 13th, 2009 remake. I do not understand the hate for this movie. So I thought it'd be fun to talk about this movie, because this movie is just so highly underrated. It is by far the scariest version of Jason Voorhees. Not my favorite, but the scariest and the most menacing version of Jason Voorhees. I don't understand, and it's made by the same directors, I believe, as the Texas Chainsaw Massacre remake, which, for remakes concerned, that remake, the TCM remake, is highly regarded as a fantastic horror remake. This is made by the same directors, and you can kind of tell it's a similar feel. I don't get why that this isn't regarded in that same aspect. I think truly that this might possibly be the greatest horror remake of all time. Now you might be saying to me, Blake, that's crazy talk. It is not even close to the greatest horror remake. It's not even in that discussion. Can you tell me why not, other than just hating on it? Because in my mind, like I said, and I'm talking strictly if you're a Friday the 13th fan. Because if you're not a Friday the 13th fan in general, like you don't like Jason Voorhees, and you don't like the Friday the 13th franchise, which I doubt it if you're watching this video, because I doubt it'd be recommended to you. But to those people who love the franchise, you should love this movie. Maybe it's not your favorite, because like I said, it's not mine. I prefer the 80s original type Jason Voorhees Friday the 13th traditional movie. But when it comes to remakes, I mean, you couldn't ask for more. It's the most menacing, scariest, serious tone version of Jason, set in 2009. This is exactly what you would expect a remake to be, especially looking back on it in retrospective. The first 20 minutes alone is the scariest and most, some people say, the greatest Jason Voorhees anything that there is. The first 20 minutes are so intense, so scary, so insane. I used to hear, people say like, oh, Jason doesn't run, and I do hear that's some people's beef with this movie, and I will admit, when I was a little kid, because I was only 12 years old, I think, when this movie came out, when I saw it in theaters, I thought the same thing. But let me tell you this right now, if you're one of those people, and I'm talking about me too, because I was at this one point when I was a kid, you're an idiot if that's your take on it, because rewatch the movies. Part 2, 3, and 4. All the human versions of Jason. He runs. I didn't really realize that. I was more of a Halloween fan growing up. Like, I loved Jason Voorhees as the character, but the movies didn't stick with me. I didn't remember all that stuff. And I think maybe people fell victim to what I probably did. I recently saw Jason X and Freddy vs. Jason. Especially Freddy vs. Jason. He's the slowest and most walking Jason Voorhees. And you're like, that's what Jason always does. That's zombie Jason. That was a certain betrayal of Jason as well. Human Jason, he runs. Alright, so let's put that to rest. Besides all that, it's got everything that the Friday the 13th franchise has to offer. It has the beautiful women. Lots of them. And shows even more of them. And I know some people have a complaint with that, but it's like, that's what Friday the 13th is. They kind of just tap into that, right? And, they say the characters are annoying or they're dumb or whatever. That's what the Friday the 13th franchise is. I think they play into that. Remember, it is a remake. Uh, they have basically, if you look at the first four movies, it combines the storyline of the first four movies and puts it all in one movie. That says a lot about the storylines of the first four movies that you can do that, but that's what they do, and they do it really well. Jared Padalecki, as our lead role is phenomenal. As a kid, I didn't, or during when this movie came out, I didn't watch Supernatural. I eventually later did, probably like 5 years later, became a huge Supernatural fan, forgot about this movie, rewatched the movie, and I was like, holy crap, I forgot he was the guy in this. And I was super, pumped on that. He is fantastic as a lead role. Supernatural is one of my all-time favorite shows. So, I love it. He did a great job. People also seem to have an issue with the way the movie ends. We are talking spoilers. I'm assuming you've watched this movie if you're watching this video. This movie came out 15 years ago. It's Friday the 13th. If you're watching this, you saw it. People have issues with the way that Whitney Clay's, aka Jared Padalecki, his character's Clay, his sister Whitney bamboozled Jason, tricking him. Like I said before with the running, if you watch part 2, that's exactly what Ginny and whatever does. It's very in line with Jason's character to be hypnotized and by his mother. His mom is his weakness. This character, in this world, in the remake, they made her look like his mom of this world. That's what they set up. That's what they built. It makes a lot of sense. I also, as a kid, when I saw this movie, I think, I can't fully remember because it's so long ago, but I think I wasn't a fan of the way Jason was bamboozled too. But that's because I think a lot of people, if you don't really pay attention to the franchise, they think that Jason's like Michael Myers. And he doesn't do that type of stuff. He's not Michael Myers. Jason is a completely different character, and that's what people need to realize. And I think if you knock all that stuff out and pay attention to what the franchise is, this remake hits every single beat possible. Now, another major thing, I feel like this review has just turned into the defending of this movie. Another major thing that people hate is the character Trent. I also, as a kid, I think remember hating him. I understand. A lot of people might not like this movie because of that. I know one of my favorite YouTubers, Drum Dums, he can't get behind this movie because he hates Trent that much. I get it. As an adult, I still hate him. He still is not likable by any stretch of the imagination. I've come to learn to have fun being mad at him because he's just so over the top obnoxious, and I think when Jason finally gets him, it's done pretty impactful, and you're satisfied with it. This movie also has the most shocking death in the entire franchise. I remember, like I said, I watched the movie as a kid. I went probably 10 plus years, whatever, seeing the movie again. I rewatched it for the first time like 3 years ago and didn't really remember the movie. And I realized after I saw the scene, like after it happened with Dana Panabaker's character, how shocking the death was. It really, really, really caught me off guard. It caught me off guard back in the day, and I realized that after it caught me off guard again, because they really set you up like you're about to be on this journey with her throughout the whole movie. So when they did that, I mean, that was shocking, and you don't really see that a lot in slasher films, especially in Friday the 13th films, that you actually get invested and semi care about a character, and then that happened. It was really another underrated thing about this movie. Now, I would say my biggest flaw of this movie is I'm not particularly a big fan of the look of Jason. I don't like that he has hair hanging out of his head. I like the traditional bald looking Jason, just the mask and the bald head. I think that looks cleaner. I think it looks better. I think the loose hairs hanging out, it just looks goofy. I don't like the way his shirt looks up, the white shirt and the thing. I guess it kind of looks like part 3, but to me, this just kind of looks, it just looks dirty. It looks kind of just, I don't like that look. I hope that in the future, if Jason comes back, which I'm hoping he does, they do a different kind of look, more of a look like a part 6, or obviously not part 7 because that's a zombie Jason, more like a part 4, I think, compared to a part 3. Like, I just don't like the look of Jason in that movie. But most importantly, the hair. I just need him to be bald if Jason comes back, not the loose hairs coming out the head. So that's it. Happy Friday the 13th. Comment down below what you think of Friday the 13th 2009 remake. Do you think it's a very underrated movie in the franchise? Horror movie in general? Horror remake in general? Do you think it's right where it needs to be? Are you a defender of it? Do you absolutely hate it? Comment down below your thoughts on it. Where does it rank in the franchise for you? I would love to see your ranking of the franchise, or just where you place it at. Is it in your top 3, your top 4, your bottom, your top 8? Where is it at? Comment down below. Love to have discussions about it. Like, comment, subscribe. I'm out. Subscribe!